Well, thank you so much for being here. I am so excited to see you all. And for those that will watch the playback, thank you for watching the playback. Today, we are talking about how to identify your ideal niche. Some of you probably have already done this. So hopefully today's information will generate some new thoughts or ways for you to maybe refine what your niche is. Maybe you'll add to your niche. Who knows? Today's webinar is brought to you by the Edupreneurship Academy, where our goal is to help convert your teaching expertise into revenue. We really want educators to know their worth, and we want them to understand that their salaries can be increased if they have a side hustle or a business. And I am Dr. Erica Jewell. I am a practitioner, an edupreneur, and a researcher. I have a PhD in education, as well as National Board certification as an exceptional needs specialist. This is my 18th year in education. And of those 18 years, I have spent 12 years in urban public schools. This is my 11th year as an edupreneur. Welcome, Ms. Woodson. If you will, put your preferred name in the chat, as well as the name or idea for your business. Let us know what city and state you're here from, as well as share with us what your annual income goal is for your business. I will extend a challenge to you every day. Today's challenge is different from yesterday's. So today's challenge is for you to watch your mouth. Watch the things that you say. We will no longer say things like, I'm just a teacher. I'm just a recent graduate. I'm just a retired educator. I'm just an administrator. We don't say those things anymore. So let's take I'm just out of our vocabulary. I wonder if you will type something in the chat. I'm not just, I'm also, Let's see what you come up with. I'm not just a special education teacher. I'm also, what might that be? You can be more than one thing. And whatever you are, don't add the word just there because just minimizes whatever follows it. So I'm not just, I'm also, Type that in the chat. Welcome, Taisha. So good to see you again. If you will, type in the chat what your name is, as well as where you're joining us from, city and state, but also tell us what is the name of your business, or if you have a business idea, and then tell us what's your annual income goal for your business. How much do you want to earn? Okay. Today, I will ask you to be an active listener. I'll also ask that you participate. I'll ask you to type some things in the chat, and I also suggest that you take notes. There will be some information. Of course, I will share the playback video with you via email, but it may help for you to take some notes. And of course, if you have any questions, feel free to ask those at any time. Cassandra said, I'm not just a teacher. I am a facilitator, mentor, and so much more. That's right. I love it. I love it. So yes, you are a teacher. You're not just a teacher. You are a teacher, but then you're a facilitator, you're a mentor, and I love the so much more part. That's good. That's good. I see 250K a year as a goal. I see 100K a year as a goal. I like these goals. 6 figures all day. So good, so good, so good. I'm not just a teacher. I am an inspiration. That's good. Very good. Very good. So here are our vocabulary terms for today. Our very first one, an edupreneur, according to me, my own definition. An edupreneur is an educator with an entrepreneurial mindset. Does this mean that an edupreneur has to own a business? No, it does not. In your classroom, you are probably doing things that business leaders do and implement in their businesses or even in the corporate world. So you may have an entrepreneurial mindset, although you may not have an LLC yet. You may also see the term teacherpreneur used interchangeably with the word edupreneur, but the premise is the same. Here's a phrase that I have coined, and I am still tweaking what I consider this to be. So the phrase is an edupreneurial orbit. This makes me think about outer space, but the edupreneurial orbit is a dynamic network of relationships and connections. So think about, even when we think about brain activity, those connections in our brains, the edupreneurial orbit are those connections and relationships to people. The purpose of it is to cultivate and enhance the edupreneur's personal and professional goals, right? So there is a purpose in having those relationships and connections. And finally, the edupreneurial orbit is a support and improvement mechanism for your business. That is important. It's important for you to have an edupreneurial orbit. So, as I've said, all edupreneurs should have an edupreneurial orbit. And some of you have one. You may not have classified it prior to now, just as that. At the end, there will be a chance for you to win a free 30-minute coaching session with me. Yesterday's winner, Dr. Lavella, is on with us tonight. So who knows? She might win again. Must be present to win, but there's nothing that says that you can't win again. I am giving away 9 30-minute coaching sessions. So this is the second one. All right, let's jump into the content. How to identify your ideal niche. How do you do it? How do you do it? There is a quote that people sometimes say. They say, the riches are in the niches. And they say niches just to make it rhyme with riches, okay? I like to say the word niche, but I do like the quote, the riches are in the niches, because when you niche down, you're able to identify who your target audience is. You shouldn't think, well, I want to leave it open because I'll get more people, I'll get more customers. No, you really should whittle it down as much as possible to who you actually want to serve. Okay, so let's talk about how we can do that. Before we do that, though, I have a quiz for you. It's just 2 true or false statements. Let's see how you come out with this. True or false? A niche relates to the narrow interest content that serves audiences with specific interests. Pop that in the chat. You can put a T for true, or you can type out true, F for false, or type out false. What do you think? True or false? True or false? A niche relates to the narrow interest. I've got 3 trues. Okay. Anybody else want to? Okay, that's the 4th one. All right. Let's see. Here's the second one. I'm going to give you the answer to the first one in a moment. Here's another true or false. Working with niches has the potential to attract numerous people. True or false? True or false? Okay, I see a true. Got some trues coming in. I kind of gave this one away already, huh? Okay, let's check our work. The first one is true. Very good. A niche relates to the narrow interest content that serves audiences with specific interests. Keep that in mind. Let's see how you did on the second one. It is also true. Ding, ding, ding. Very good. So working with niches can attract lots of people because what happens with the niche, people see what you have to offer, you've identified who it's offered to, and they then know this is for me or this is not for me. And it's okay for people to identify that what you have to offer is not for them. They are not your customer. And that's okay because the person who is your customer also identifies that what you have to offer is for them. Today, I want you to do 3 things, okay? You're going to identify your specialty area if you have not already. I then want you to investigate mega niches and micro niches, and we'll talk about these as it relates to education. I do realize that although you are edupreneurs or aspiring edupreneurs, I realize that your business or idea may not specifically be education related. However, our conversation today will be more focused on education related niches. The activity, though, hopefully will help those of you who are in industries or have businesses that are outside of education. You can still use the activity, the process of it to whittle down and find out what your mega and micro niches are. And then finally, we'll talk about how you can leverage your network. What do you specialize in? That's a question. I want to start there. Think about, what do you specialize in? If someone came to you and said, hey, what do you specialize in? In education, we don't use this terminology very much. However, it's something to consider. You have an area that you specialize in. Of course, we know that competing as a specialist is a process and it takes time. So you don't become a specialist overnight. Those of us that went to school for education, even if you went to undergrad for a different major, with a different major, you didn't graduate from college as a specialist in that particular major. It takes time. So you have to get the knowledge, but then there's some application that happens there as well before you're considered to be a specialist. So tell me this, what would you want your doctor to be? A jack of all trades, but a master of none? I wouldn't. I see you shaking your head. No, I don't want to go to my doctor and my doctor is, oh yeah, I know how to do that. Oh, I'm good at that too. But you've mastered nothing. That's a problem for me because you are a doctor. Yeah, that's a no. What about this one? Would you want your doctor to wonder why your toe is detached from your foot? Let's say something happens. You go to the emergency room. Your toe is hanging off. And the doctor says, well, I don't know what's going on with your foot. I don't see what's going on. I see some nopes. I see some no, and no. Right? Now, there's a problem here. Excuse me. You don't know why my toe is hanging off? You have no idea. Right? But think about us in education. If we don't know what our specialty is, how can we service the people that need what we offer? Okay. Just like doctors with different specialties, there are edupreneurs with various specialties. Just because you are an educator does not mean that your specialty has to be the same as mine. We have different specialties, and that is a good thing. So I adapted this particular model entitled The Stages of Specialization. I wanted to utilize this, although it came from an article about CPAs. I thought that this was a good visual to show us how we become specialists in an area. First, we explore, then we build content knowledge, then we build practice, and then we're recognized as a specialist. So let me break that down a little bit. In the exploration phase, this is where you as an edupreneur will research what your market area is. Do some research and see what's my market area. Then I suggest that you look at your competitors' websites. Go and see what your competitors are doing. It does not hurt, and they don't even have to know that you're there. And I would even extend this to say, if you know your competitor personally, ask them to go to coffee, take them to lunch, pick their brains. It's okay. This is in the exploration phase. After that, to build content, you're going to read articles and books on those areas that you want to focus on. Okay. And then you also might watch videos or listen to podcasts in those particular areas. You want to build your content knowledge. After that, you want to build your practice, right? Engage in area-specific activities. If you want to be a specialist in a particular area, make sure you've got the practice behind it to back it up. Become a practitioner in that area and grow your capabilities. Stretch yourself. Put yourself in challenging situations and make sure that you're building your chops. It's kind of like weight resistance. It's kind of like working out. You're lifting weights because you want to build that muscle. Don't always do the things that are comfortable to you. And then finally, recognize yourself as a specialist, and other people will see it. And you do this by securing area credentials. If there's a specific area that you want to focus on, get credentialed in that area, and then promote your own knowledge and expertise. Tell other people, here's what I do. Here's what I specialize in. Okay, so those are the stages of specialization. It's a continuum. Now I ask you again, what's your specialty? What is your specialty? Okay. And of course, you may have more than one. It is okay. So let's delve into this. Here are some potential specialty areas, and you may see some on here that resonate with you. You may have a specialty in special education, early childhood, elementary, secondary ed, history, science, math. Dyslexia may be your jam. School counseling, technology, school leadership, library media, student discipline, English, literacy, literature. Of course, this is not an exhaustive list, but when you think about educators as edupreneurs, these may possibly be your specialty areas. If any of these resonate with you, I'm curious to know which of them do. And I also want to know, what did I leave off? Again, this is not an exhaustive list, but I'd love to know, put in the chat, you forgot this one. You didn't, what about this? What about that? There are many specialty areas. Under the umbrella of education, there are so many specialty areas. But I want you to consider these particular specialty areas to be your mega niche. Okay, so we've got education as the industry. Your mega niche falls under these categories. So let's move from your mega niche or your specialty area into your micro niche. Let's see how we can do that. So again, your mega niche is your business's overall area of focus. So in order to determine your micro niche, though, you've got to do some drilling down. Here's how I look at it. Curious. Think about how you shop. When you go shopping, what does that look like? Some of you may say, well, when I shop online only. I go straight to Amazon and I type in exactly what I'm looking for. Others may say, when I shop, I'm old school. I need to go and try it on. I need to feel the fabric. I need to see what it is. I need to hold it in my hand. I need to try the shoes on before I buy them. Different people shop different ways. Keep that in your mind. How do you personally shop? The way you shop is different from the way other people shop. So even there, again, your customers are the same way. So here's an example. Okay. Again, those specialty areas are equivalent to your what I would consider to be your mega niche. So here's an example. If special education is your mega niche, you as an edupreneur may offer only services directly to students who have an IEP. That could look like online tutoring services. That could look like in-person tutoring service. It's okay for you to say, I only offer online tutoring services to students with special needs. And when parents reach out to you or when your colleagues refer parents to you for in-person tutoring, if you only offer online tutoring, you can say, I only offer online tutoring. However, I know this person over here who offers in-person tutoring. This is what we mean by niching down. Special education is my specialty. But when I niche down, I only want to provide student services for online tutoring or student services for in-person tutoring. It's okay for you to say, I offer either one. It may be at different price points, but that's okay. Edupreneur B, however, offers teacher services. They're still under the mega niche of special education, right? Edupreneur A and Edupreneur B went to the same college and got the same degree in special education. But Edupreneur B says, I want to offer services for teachers. Edupreneur A says, I'm only comfortable in front of children. I don't want to teach adults. It's okay. Okay. So for Edupreneur B, they may offer teacher-specific services that look like teacher coaching for classroom teachers who are struggling with their students who have IEPs. It may be teacher coaching for special education teachers specifically. It may be, I don't want to do coaching, but I will do workshops. I'll facilitate trainings for teachers focused on special education. Okay. I'm hopeful that this is helping. If so, I'd love to see some reactions or something in the chat to let me know that this does make sense. If I need to slow down, let me know. We do just have a few minutes left, but let me know if this is making sense. We've got education as the overall area, and then we go to our mega niche. What is that specialty area? And then we niche down to our micro niche. What are the services that I specifically want to provide? And what do those look like? Thank you, thank you, thank you, Cassandra. Okay, so I give out a tip every day. Yesterday, I gave a tip. Webinar 1's tip was to record all ideas that come to your mind as soon as possible. Okay, and that looks like having an idea book, which is a small notebook that I have. I use a small notebook. Tambra got on and said, I'm about to buy my tiny notebook, my idea book, right? Or you can record it in your notes app on your phone. And I like to do it where I can check off what I've accomplished and see what I have not done yet. And then also record, if you're driving, record it in your voice memos app. Today's tip ties to what we're talking about. Today's tip number 2 is intentionally expand your edupreneurial orbit. And I'll remind you what the edupreneurial orbit does, why it's there, what the function of it is. Remember, it's focused on relationships and connections with other people because you want to cultivate yourself personally and professionally. And you also want to utilize it as a mechanism to improve your business. So here are 3 ways for you to intentionally expand your edupreneurial orbit. Serve on school and nonprofit boards. Yes, even if you're in the classroom, you can serve on a school board. You can also serve on nonprofit boards. I'll tell you why this is important in a moment. You can also volunteer for committees and coalitions. That too is very important. And finally, you can present at conferences. Attending conferences is fine, but presenting at conferences establishes you as an expert in whatever it is that you're talking about, but it also gives you leverage. As a presenter at a conference, I've recognized that people would come up to me afterwards to talk to me more about what I've just presented to them than if it was a conference that I was attending side by side with them. Present at conferences. What does this have to do with what we're talking about today? When we talk about our niches, this gives you the opportunity to have instant elevator pitch sessions with the people that you meet. When you start serving on boards, you will be working and serving alongside people who want to know, who are you? What do you do? You can tell them, yes, I'm an educator, but you can also let them know what your business is. And as you're talking to them, pay attention to their facial expressions. Are they following you? Does it make sense to them when you say, my name is, the name of my business is, and I do, As you're saying what you do, you're sharing with them what your niche is. As you're giving them these elevator pitch opportunities, the goal is that they will in turn ask you questions. They may even give you feedback. These questions and feedback will help you to refine what your niche is. Because as you're describing what your business does, and they're asking questions and they're looking puzzled, you then have the opportunity to say, I really didn't describe that very well. Or I went way around the mountain to describe what I do. Each opportunity helps you to refine what it is that you do. So I ask, who's in your edupreneurial orbit? This isn't something you have to share in the chat, but it's something I want you to think about. Who are the people that are in your edupreneurial orbit? Some of the people that are in your orbit are naturally going to be there. Your family members, for example. Your family members are in your edupreneurial orbit. Don't count them out. Your friends are also in your edupreneurial orbit. Utilize them and their expertise to help you refine your business and define what your niche is. But then you have other people in your orbit that are necessary to help. You can go to them, you can ask them questions. You can share ideas with them and see what their thoughts are. A profitable edupreneur has an edupreneurial orbit. Keep that in mind. All right, it is time for us to announce who the free 30-minute coaching recipient is. So let me tell you how it's going to go. We are nearing the end of webinar number 2. I am hopeful that you have signed up for the 3rd webinar, which will happen tomorrow. Even if you cannot attend, please sign up and I'll send you the playback. Okay? Tomorrow, we're going to talk about how to design engaging adult learning experiences. Again, I realize that teaching adults is not everybody's jam. So this may not be of interest to you, but if you want to craft engaging adult learning experiences, whether they're online, whether they're in-person workshops, you want to join me tomorrow. Okay, here's how we are going to determine who the winner is. I want you to type a number in the chat between 1 and 100. I already have my number written down, so don't think that I'm going to cheat. I have it right here. I'll show you what it is, but it's here. It's a different number from yesterday, Lavella, so don't cheat. Well, you can say the same number as yesterday. All right. So whoever comes the closest without going over is the winner. Okay. Looks like we've got 2 responses in the chat so far. 3 responses. I see. Okay. I do want to let you know that there's a way for you to build your edupreneurial orbit. I am offering one-on-one coaching, okay, which will consist of 2 30-minute monthly Zoom sessions. So we will have intense conversations about what you are working on, strategic planning. I'll give you customized feedback that is definitely available to you, and personalized guidance based on what your business or idea is. And we'll also do some goal setting and accountability activities, and you'll have access to me even after our Zoom sessions are done. This is offered to you at $170 per month. But if you say, well, I'm really not interested in a monthly plan, but I'd like to at least have one of those sessions with you, that is $195 per session. I see 3 numbers in the chat. All of the numbers are high. Let me just say it like that. So I may have to dispel the caveat. Next year, I do want everyone to know that next year, we are having the very first Edupreneur Accelerator Retreat. It is a 3-day intensive. It is going to be here in Birmingham, but it will only be offered to members of the Edupreneurship Academy. You can join our Edupreneurship Academy in multiple ways. We do have a community for edupreneurs that's only $35 a month. So that is one way to join. If you become a member of that, then you will be invited to the accelerator retreat. There are monthly plans available. So if you want to pay in installments, that is also an option. But we will have a lot of industry experts there that will be there to work with you. Of course, there's going to be food provided to you every day, as well as snacks. We'll have some wonderful activities and resources and all the things that will help you, as well as networking opportunities with potential collaborators. Okay, so there is the monthly plan at $290 per month. And then here are the other opportunities that are there for you to join the Edupreneurship Academy. So you've got those there. Coaching puts you into the edupreneurial orbit, as well as our success community. Okay, before we get to the questions, I am going to announce who tonight's winner is. So I've got to take off the caveat of if you don't go over, okay? So then my number is 14. That means Taisha is the winner. Congratulations, Taisha. We will schedule our 30-minute. Oh, Tambra, you are so sweet to be happy for her. Yes. We'll schedule our 30-minute coaching session. Congratulations. Woo, 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 woo. Any questions for me before we go? You can either come off mute or you can type it in the chat. I am all ears. That's right, Cassandra. You'll win next time. That's right. That's right. You've got 7 more opportunities to win. 7 more. I shared with Tamara when we got on, I want to share this information with other edupreneurs because there's enough wealth to go around. I'm talking billions with a B, billions of dollars in education alone. That's not talking about corporations and how educators can plug into the corporate sector. That's not even to mention the nonprofit sector, where we can contract with them. All of those things are forthcoming. I want to share that information with you as well, but Again, I would love to answer any questions that you may have, but I am intent on helping to elevate the profession. And I'll stop sharing here. I want us to elevate the profession. If we don't do it, nobody's going to do it for us. We complain about how teachers are not paid enough money. Here's our opportunity to mandate that we earn more. Yes, your school or district may have a salary schedule that caps you at a certain pay level because of your degree and your times of service, your years of service. But there's nothing that says you cannot start your own business. There's nothing that says you cannot improve your own business and get to that 100K a year, that 250K a year. Nothing says that you can't do that. So I want to help show you how to do that, because there are actually things that I would have wanted to know 11 years ago when I started learning little people as a third grade teacher. I would have loved for someone to say, hey, here are 9 webinars. I'm spilling the tea. I would have loved that, right? Instead of me having to scramble and look over here. Oh, well, let me watch this video and let me watch that video. Most of the videos that I've watched are not even catering to educators. They're for people who are already in marketing. They're already in business. So I just had to sit there and, okay, what does this mean? And they're using terminology that I didn't understand. And so then I had to look it up. Okay, what was that word? Okay, they use this acronym that I didn't understand. I had to research that. So I want to just plant all of this and sit it at your feet, curate it, and give it all to you in a nice bow and say, hey, educator, hey, edupreneur, here's something that you can use. So I hope that this has been helpful. Cassandra, you are right. Teachers have so many monetary talents that we don't capitalize on. We absolutely do. And because, again, our mindset and even our mouths say, I'm just a teacher, guess what? We are what I call teacher poor. Because in our minds, we say, I didn't go into education to make a lot of money. Okay, that's noble, understandable. However, there's nothing that says that you can't make a lot of money. I want to help create wealthy educators. So I've started using hashtag wealthy educators. Hashtag wealthy educators, because there's nothing that says that we cannot be wealthy. Well, I'm so glad that you all have come to watch me enjoy myself, because I just enjoy my little self. If you don't have any questions, then I will give you 5 minutes of your time back. And I will give you, again, via email, the playback from tonight's session, just in case you wanted to take notes if you fell off and had to log back in and missed some information. Don't worry, I will send that email to you probably tonight.